And he said, I do this respecting our dearest country, and I hand it to the protection of Almighty God, that is, the country. Having now finished the work assigned me, I retire from the great theater of action and bidding farewell to this body under whose orders I have so long acted. I have so long submitted myself, what? To civilian authority, the key to any successful republic. I here offer my commission, I return my commission, take my leave in employments of public life. It's an amazing scene. He arrived home at Mount Vernon on Christmas Eve, 1783. As I've studied Washington's life, what I found is a man of enormous intelligence. John Adams once said he didn't think Washington was very smart. Washington didn't go to Harvard. He didn't have those advantages. But he did read, and that's one of the things I learned last year when I was a fellow at Mount Vernon, the new presidential library. Washington was attached to Roman history. He was fascinated by Lucius Quintius Cincinnatus, who back in 458 BC laid down the plow, went into the field for 6 months, was named dictator, defeated the enemy, went home, laid down the sword, and went back to the plow. That is imagery that is embedded in Washington. It is an incredible story about George Washington. This was a person who understood what the cause was all about. This was a person who persevered to the end. This was a person who gave himself over and over and gave us, the American people, a successful revolution. That can, from my point of view, be the absolutely greatest of gifts. Let me give you some names because this will be part of my book. Have you ever heard of Napoleon? Have you ever heard of Lenin? Have you ever heard of Stalin? Have you ever heard of Castro? Have you ever heard of Mao Zedong? They all claim to be liberators, but millions upon millions of people died under their oppression in the name of liberating people. So I'll put George Washington up against this group of thugs anytime. And you got a quote for that right there. And some of my colleagues aren't going to like that, but that's too bad. Because that is the reality. Let me give you, we debate, we academics, whether this was an exceptional revolution. Well, what have I just described to you? Exceptional behavior, where one person was able to keep and bring so many others back to a sense of what they were really all about, how they should be giving citizens and contributing citizens. And in the process, he helped to mold and shape this republic, a republic which is, as it's been said, dedicated to liberty, a republic which keeps trying to define what that term means. But by golly, it's very good to be defining it and redefining it from my point of view, because we are a blessed people, largely because of leaders like George Washington. And I thank you.